is fucking bad!
Welcome to this tutorial. In the previous tutorial I created a default AI agent Mr. Spock. In this tutorial I will explain the chain graph that is created with a default AI agent. I click on the Edit button to edit the AI agent. And then I click on the Chain Graph Setup tab. This is the place where you can edit the chain graph. First I will explain what these buttons do. When you click on the History button, you get a list of all saved chain graph changes. You can go to a previously saved change by clicking the Restore button. With the Presets button, you can change the chain graph preset. With Start from Scratch, you can start with an empty chain graph. With Continue your draft, you continue with the current chain graph. And with the simple talker with Telegram bot, you start with the default chain graph. We go back to the current chain graph. With the Import button, you can import a chain graph. You fill in a chain graph in JSON format and then click on Import. The Clear button throws away the chain graph and you start with an empty chain graph. The Restore button undo all unsaved changes. After clicking on the Restore, the deleted chain graph is back. The Save button temporarily saves the chain graph. Only when you click Save Agent, the changes will be permanently saved. I'm gonna explain each node of the default chain graph. Here is the agent profile. The agent section describes the agent. First name, last name, username, avatar URL, and the role are defined on the Profile tab. The LLM config properties, model, temperature, and the max tokens. These properties are configured on the AI configuration tab. The model you can find on the Select Model section. And the temperature and the max tokens you can find on the Output Settings section. The chat history properties, message count and token limits, these are also configured on the AI configuration tab. You can find these on the chat history section. The agent's chat history properties are linked to the chat history node. These properties will be used to only feed the LLM with the maximum count of history messages used for context. After that, the messages are serialized in a serialized YAML node as input for the Genia2 template node. The Genia2 template node has a context part and a template part. The context part is used to create your Genia2 variables that you can use in your prompt. The template is the prompt you use for the LLM agent. The template param node can be used to create template parameters. The parameter example prompt is linked to the AI configuration tab in the template parameters section. Here you can configure your prompt. Also, other parameters you create in the template param node will appear on the AI configuration tab in this section. The example prompt property from the template param node is connected to the template property from the Genia2 template node. The Genia2 template node will fill in the configured variables into the prompt. For example, operator.firstName is used in the default prompt of the agent. In Genia 2 you can use variables and use some basic logic like if and for statements. You can look up more information about the Genia 2 coding on the web. The default prompt uses the first name, last name and the username from the agent profile, the chat history for some context, the input message. This is the message where the agent responds to from the chat, and the current timestamp. After the Genia 2 template node transformed the prompt with the configured variables, it will send the result to the LLM call node. The LLM will process the prompt and produce a response. It will respond to the last message with the history context as backup. Also, the response will contain the behavior and rules you gave up as prompt. The LLM gets the parameters from the agent profile, model, temperature and the max tokens. The temperature controls the randomness of the AI responses. Lower values produce more precise and deterministic responses, while higher values allow for creative and varied responses. For example, if you defined in the prompt the agent must be rude, then it will give a rude answer. Also, if the temperature is high, the responses can be made up stories based on fantasy. When someone enters a message in the chat, the input message node will trigger the create message node and will send the message thinking to the chat. If I type hello in the demo chat, you see first the text thinking and after that the response from the agent. The input message node will send the message to the Genia 2 template node. The Genia 2 template node will fill in all variables and send the message to the LLM call node. The LLM call node will create a response and send a signal to the edit message node to edit the current response. The LLM call node also sends a response stream to the add message delta node. The add message delta node will add it all together and signals the finish message node to finish the response. And also the result will be sent to the Telegram create message node. I'm gonna use now an own-made parameter. I want Spock to make a joke at the end of each response. So I make a joke parameter as a string at the key. I save the chain graph. Save also the agent. When I go to the AI configuration, you see here a joke part. I enter a joke. I save my agent again. For this to work, you must also add in Genia 2 template a joke parameter. Here you can fill in your own joke in Chaingraph itself, but when you connect the template parameter to the joke, it will use the AI configuration joke parameter. It goes from here into the Genia template. If you do that, you go to the prompt and you add a new rule. For example, I make a new rule. Make at the end of your response the following joke. Genia style, you can use the parameter with two accolades. Put in joke, end it with these, Now, when you save this, at the place on the joke comes a text what I put in the joke part, this one. I save my agent, and now I'm gonna test his response. I type simply hello, and now he gives on the end of the response the joke. I made a own bot that creates from a list of jokes. He put random, of it takes random one of the jokes and put that on the end of the answer. But this is how you can use your own parameters. All these parameters in the Genia template are, yeah, you can configure yourself. These are made default for you with all the stuff you want to have in your template prompt. If you want to see how a filled in Genia 2 output looks like, you can link the result property from Genia 2 template to the text property of a create message node. This will send the process prompt directly to the chat, so you can check what prompt is used for the LLM. I will save the chain graph and also save the agent. And if I send now a text to the chat, you see the whole prompt will appear in the chat. This way you can check how the prompts look like and what is sent to the LLM. This way you can also every string property from every node, you can send it to the create message node and check what the value is in the chat. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Until next time.